Hi everyone. So 14 years ago, I used to live in this house in Pandav Nagar, New Delhi, and every day I used to take a metro to work. In simple words, I was living a frugal life, so to say, right? And I still, whenever I'm in Delhi, I take a metro. I enjoy metro rides, but it was not like a lavish lifestyle that I was living. Now I live in UAE. I travel the world. I'm living in a penthouse right now. So how did I go about from living there to here? This is the journey that I will discuss. Most importantly, I will discuss 9-10 points about wealth building in a very honest, no nonsense fashion as to how genuinely I built my wealth. Now, many people have the misnomer that, you know what, I got rich through YouTube. No, even before coming on YouTube, I sold one of my companies to a big edtech company, which is now shut shop, and I was able to make close to $1 million back then, right? So yes, YouTube definitely helped me accelerate my journey. But in the last 14 years, I have done a lot of things, a lot of useful things, which might be relevant for you. If you watch this entire video, it will tell you at least one or two critical points about wealth building in 2025. So let me start. And the first key point that I would like to share with you is, in order to build wealth, you need to have a solid source of income. People will convince you कि आप stock market करके अमीर बन जाओगे, real estate करके अमीर बन जाओगे, blog लिख के अमीर बन जाओगे. फालतू बातें हैं, right? It doesn't work that way. Honestly, the way to build wealth is very simple, that you either build wealth by doing something called as active income source. This can be that you're running a business, you're going for a job. This is one source of income. Second could be completely passive. Completely passive means कि मान के चलो कि आपने घर खरीद लिया, right? If you have purchased a flat, you put it up on rent. So that creates an income stream for you. So that's passive. Third source of income is called as semi-passive. So semi-passive means that बीच की चीज हो गई. For example, if you are running an Airbnb, then there you have to still put in work. If you're running a YouTube, you still have to put in some work, right, in order to get income stream. So these are three different income streams. One way or the other, you can split it the way you like. But to cut the long story short, you need all these three combined income streams, or like even if you're just in a job, that income stream should put enough money in your pocket to generate wealth. Okay, if that itself is not happening, then getting rich will become really tough. Okay, so please remember this. This is a very important point. I don't want to tell you like unnecessary nonsense things, you know, stock market करके अमीर बन जाओगे and all that stuff. Stock market is important. It serves its purpose. Similarly, buying real estate is important. It serves its purpose. But without having a good solid income stream, you will never become rich. So if you are in a situation where income stream is not there, then doing stock market, doing mutual fund investing से कुछ नहीं होना, right? So that's a simple point that I'm trying to drive home. A lot of people will not like what I'm saying, but this is the honest thing that I will tell you. Now, mathematically speaking, आप खुद ही सोच के देखो. For example, let's say that in a year you are able to save and invest 1 lakh rupee, and in 3 years you are able to generate 100% return on that capital. So 1 lakh becomes 2 lakhs, and you're generating roughly like 29-30% CAGR, massive CAGR. Did this like change your life, right, per se? Maybe in most cases, the answer would be a no. It's much better to actually figure out a way to save 10 lakh rupees a year and then grow it by like 50% in 3 years. So that's easier to do also, more sensible and sustainable also. So in order to build wealth, first step is that you need to have a good source of income. Then you move to the second step, which is that you need to figure out a way to make your money make more money. And that is called as passive income investing. And here the biggest lesson that I've learned over the last 5-6 years now is that you need to invest in growth instruments and avoid really low risk instruments. For example, extremely low risk instrument हो गया FD. Okay, and FD में हर कोई करता है पैसा. I'm not opposed to it. Put little bit of emergency money in FD and be done with it, no doubt. But the mistake that people make, especially the young ones, what they do is that they think that, okay, they are investing in an instrument which is a growth instrument. It will help them make crazy amount of money, but it is not. For example, जैसे PF, EPF, PPF वगैरह, the rate of return post tax is 8-8.5% max. Okay, and इसमें लोग खुश हो जाते हैं, वो मेरा टैक्स बच रहा है, वो मेरा टैक्स बच रहा है. भाई टैक्स आपका लॉन्ग टर्म में कितना बच रहा है, राइट? आई मीन maybe like 12.5% is the long-term capital gains tax on equities. So honestly, you're locking your money in a slow growth instrument, thinking that it is something that will change your life. No, like it will not. Okay, you have to unfortunately take risk with your money, especially if you're in a stage where you have decent enough capital. आपकी ठीक ठाक सी capital बन गई है. You're saving, let's say, more than 25-30% of your salary every month, already sitting on decent enough, like, you know, wealth, and you are looking to grow it. So don't invest in like very slow growth moving instrument, especially in countries like India. It does not make sense. For example, FD की पढ़ाई करें तो FD, if you go and check, HDFC Bank gives you like a base rate of maybe 7%, right? Now post-tax, it comes out to be how much? 4.95%. Okay, so inflation is like 6%. So every year, the more money you put in slow growth instrument, the faster will be your wealth depreciation. The third key point is that you need to learn how to diversify across asset classes. Now this is something there has been a lot of debate. For example, equity वाले बोलेंगे कि भाई equity सबसे अच्छी है, real estate वाले बोलेंगे real estate, bitcoin है वो सर bitcoin, FD वाले बोलेंगे FD चंगा सी. See, every asset has a cycle. For example, you might have heard that real estate में एक cycle होती है, job cycle होती है, business cycle होती है, stock market cycle होती है. So the more asset classes that you are aware of, the better things get for you, because more you can buy things which are underpriced. For example, take a look at this chart. Okay, so this is Nifty 50 chart right now. Okay, from its top, Nifty is corrected by how much? It is corrected by roughly 13-14% as of day of shooting this video. One could argue that Nifty 50 right now, which is the Indian stock market, it is available at somewhat of a discount. Now take a look at this chart. This is the US stock market. Now it is hitting high. Okay, so where should you invest money? अब आप खुद बुद्धि लगा के देखो. Maybe like where the cycle looks positive, right? So you have to understand these things. Ki even within the equity segment, there can be a cycle kind of a thing. Same applies to real estate. That real estate goes through like negative cycle. Then it goes to positive cycle, then it goes to speculative cycle. So having an understanding of different asset classes, it can be a game changer, right? Not only because it allows you to buy different assets cheap, also it allows you to exit those assets when the time comes. And इसके लिए थोड़ी knowledge चाहिए होती है. So I always recommend people to sign up for my YouTube member community, sign up for my courses. Why? Because not because कि यार आप मैं और मैं millionaire हुआ उससे आप मुझे और millionaire बना दो. No, but the level of insights that I'll give you through these forums, you try it. No, you try it for like a couple of months on my YouTube member community. It's hardly like 150-200 rupees. ऐसा आप लुट तो जाओगे नहीं 200 रुपए देके, मैं भी millionaire नहीं बन जाऊंगा 200 रुपए लेके. But the point is that it's a aggregation of people who actually want to improve, learn about macroeconomics, finance more sensibly. It avoids the crowd, right? So therefore the learning experience is better, and you can check the testimonials, everything. You yourself will get an understanding. But to cut the long story short, one key thing that you need to start figuring out is that how do you study different asset cycles so that you can take advantage of opportunities. Okay, so point number 4, that you should avoid trading, right? Now, what is the meaning of trading? Trading मतलब आज खरीदा कल बेच दिया types, right? Now, I'm not saying that you should never trade. If the market tells you to trade, trade. Nothing wrong with that. But as a general rule of wealth building, you should avoid trading. Now, why? Because if you think about markets like India, right, the STCG on majority of the asset classes is 20%, right? It's like crazy. By अब 1/5 wealth आप वहाँ दे रहे हो. Now, if you are a UAE tax resident investing in the US market, for example, now should you trade? 100% you should trade. Why? Because the LTCG, STCG on you is 0. Okay, so that's the point. Now, these are highly advanced points that people are not aware of. Okay, so A, get aware of all these points. B, if you are in India right now, majority of your concentration of wealth is in India, then it kind of makes sense for you to generally not trade, right? Why? Because India is a tax inefficient market when it comes to trading. Trading on real estate is very difficult in India. Why? Because आपका stamp duty वगैरह बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. There is direct, indirect taxation, GST, दुनिया भर की चीज़ें, right? Same applies in the stock market. Same applies in any form of instrument, crypto वगैरह. So in general, just avoid trading. Just buy good, solid, investable assets in India. And of course, diversify internationally as your wealth grows, which brings us to the next point that, okay, what is a good solid instrument? See, what I've seen typically in India is that when people start their jobs, they start making a little bit of money. They are making like, let's say 1.5 lakh rupees. They are saving maybe 60-70,000. Wife is also working, your husband is working. The first step is कि चलो यार जाके flat खरीद लेते हैं, okay? And let's lock both of our incomes in EMIs for the next 20-25 years. Right? It's madness, okay? It does not make sense. That's not a viable instrument in most cases. Why? Because both the husband and wife might be working in a metro, like Delhi, Pune, Mumbai, this, that stuff. They are almost 80-85%, I'm sure that they will end up buying a flat in a township, okay? Now, township has almost infinite supply. Do you think that this is the last township that will be built in Pune or wherever? Like, no, there will be more and more of these townships that will get built. Now, as a general rule, if I have to suggest something, that if you're buying real estate, there is nothing wrong in terms of buying real estate, but don't buy it in townships. Don't buy it in products where the supply is almost infinite. If you do that, you're locking a fairly large chunk of your money into that asset. If you're purely leaving it to buy, to not considering it as an investment, wo theek hai, that's okay, not an issue. But if you're buying it as an investment, that investment is not going to generate enough returns for you, right? So the point being that say no to township projects. The next point is that you need to understand how to rotate capital. Now rotate capital का मतलब क्या होता है? जैसे for example अभी trend बना पड़ा है, SIP करते चलो, अंधे हो जाओ, this that stuff, right? There is an entire video that I have done that no matter what, we will continue to SIP for the next 30-35 years till the time our grandkids are born, right? That is mindlessness. The entire goal of investing is very simple, that you buy when something is available at a discount, preferably a good product. If you, for example, if your neighbor comes to you, right, and he has a bungalow or whatever, right, and he tells you that, you know what, boss, I have to sell it because I need money urgently. Market rate is like 1 crore. Will you buy it from me at 80 lakhs? What should be the answer? The answer most likely should be a yes. Why? Because you're getting probably a good product at a distressed price. Same happens in stocks, same happens in gold, same happens in BTC, Bitcoin, etc. And opposite situation also plays out, that sometimes stocks become inflated, real estate becomes inflated, gold becomes inflated. So what do, right? The goal of investing is very simple, that you buy undervalued things and you sell overvalued things. Problem is that people do not understand what is the meaning of overvalued, undervalued, how to judge it, have no fundamental basis. वो general कि यार मुंबई में घर खरीद लें अच्छा होता है या पुणे में घर खरीद लें अच्छा होता है. It's not as if that, you know, it's like saying कि यार, you know, stock खरीद लें अच्छा होता है या वो US stock खरीद लें अच्छा होता है. No, it's not like that. What is important is that you need to understand that within an asset class, there are good investment options, there are bad investment options. You really have to study it. You have to understand the nuances of it. If you are putting money systematically into it, just because you're running an SIP does not mean कि वो sensible चीज़ है. Okay, so you need to understand how to assess what a good asset is it available at a good price, and rotate capital. Rotate capital मतलब कि for example अभी stock market नीचे चल रहा है, right? Probably you could buy it. Once you have bought it, now wait. Like make your 20%, 25% run up on it. When the technicals tell you to sell, you sell it, right? And then rotate capital where? If you understand other assets, for example, US stock market, China stock market, real estate across different parts of the world, then it allows you to rotate capital. And that's what rich people are doing. The next point is that you must learn stock investing. Now, why am I saying stock investing? Because see, there is a lot of information related to stocks. So if you are someone who can study stocks properly, understand what fundamental analysis is, technical analysis is, etc., then उससे होता है क्या है कि because of the availability of data, you are likely to make hopefully good decisions. Okay, now of course people can get overwhelmed with data and, you know, नुकसान करा बैठते हैं and all that stuff, but if you understand that segment really well, there are enough choices within the stock market itself. That's benefit number one. Benefit number two is that Indian stock market is in a sustainable bullish pattern as of now. Okay, so I'm not saying that this will forever persist, but at least for a foreseeable future, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होगा कि यार stock market हमेशा के लिए गिर जाएगा, right? I mean, yeah, we'll become like Japan or we'll become like UK. No, it will not happen. The reason is very simple, that right now we are an aspiring country, a lot of youngsters, inflation is high in India. So because of those dynamics, now I would not get into the macroeconomics of it in this video. So from a liquidity point of view, ease of cutting your positions in stock market, rotating capital within different sectors from time to time, all these options are available if you're a stock investor. So if you're young, if you're like 25 or under, 30 or under, and you have started to build your portfolio, then honestly, even if you're 80-90% just in the stock market, it's completely okay. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay, so the next point is that you must say no to bad debt. Now, what is the meaning of bad debt? भाई आजकल तो इतनी फालतू की ऐपें चल पड़ी हैं कि ओहो, आप है ना अपने म्यूचुअल फंड जो आपके पड़े हुए हैं उसको आप लोन पे दे दो, राइट? एंड आप पैसा ले लो और कहीं पे भी लगा दो, राइट? एंड आपको, you know, you take like peer-to-peer loan. All that is BS. Okay, for example, I am 37. Okay, and I did not have a credit card / debit card till the time I was 32, 33. मेरे पास था ही नहीं. Then I took it because I was traveling the world, this that stuff, so I needed lounge access. So उसकी वजह से मुझे credit card लेना पड़ा, right? But honestly, I never took even a credit card. अब कई लोग बोलेंगे you पागल हो, right? इतना पैसा बचता है, right? 5-5 रुपए के cashback में and all that stuff. Why that is useless game? Why are you spending your mental bandwidth doing that 5-5 रुपए का cashback or whatever, like यहाँ वहाँ तिकड़म भिड़ा के, right? 100 रुपए बचा लेंगे and cashback मिल जाएगा इस ऐप पे जाके and all that stuff. Madness, right? Why are you getting into all that? It makes no sense whatsoever. The point being that credit card debt is bad. Even home loan, right, in India is a bad deal right now. Why am I telling you that? Because you have to see home loan in context of the rental yield. For example, if you buy a house in Mumbai, let's say 1 crore का आपने घर खरीदा, आपकी EMI निकल के आएगी roughly 80,000, 90,000. Okay, so that's one, right? Now, if you are paying 80-90,000 as EMI, then how much should typically be the rental yield on it? Honestly, आपकी rental yield will not be more than 35-40,000. आप खुद ही करके देख लो कि if you buy a 1 crore house, right, in Mumbai, how much rent will you be able to generate from it right now in 2025? And how much EMI repayment you will have to make on that property right now? Typically in India, the equation is that home loan rate is like maybe 9% and the rental yield is maybe like 3%. So that's extremely negative. Now, is home loan a great deal in markets like Dubai, for example? Yes, right? So I recently bought like an apartment here and usme the borrowing rate. So I did not take borrowing, but if I had to mortgage it and borrow money against it, which I can do, then my borrowing rate will be around 4.5%, 5%, right? And the rental yield that I'm making is 7.2% net. Okay, so I'll make a separate video in case you guys are interested discussing all that. But here is like one market where this rental yield to EMI game makes sense. And then there is market like India where bad debt can really hurt you. So be very, very careful in terms of taking any kind of debt except for maybe education debt in India right now, or wait for better times. Which brings us to the next point, that it is great to take debt when the market is good for it. Now, what is the meaning of market being good for it? So let me explain it with an example of 2020. So in 2020, when COVID crash happened, the banks were unable to lend. Who do you think took loans? Jeff Bezos, okay, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, everyone took crazy amount of debt, okay. Now you'll say ये तो US हो गया, इंडिया में लिया था, Adani ji, Ambani ji, भर के debt, okay? Why? Because the debt was extremely cheap. Could you have borrowed it at that time? Yes. Did I borrow it? No, I made a mistake, okay? Now, I have learned my lesson and this is an angle that I'm working towards, that whenever the opportunity comes to take debt big, I'm going to take it. When do such circumstances arise? When there is some kind of crisis going on. Now, it's not as if that you have zero credit history and you have like no ability to repay your debt, या आप financially strong नहीं हो and अब बैंक के पास पहुंचे and bank is like desperate to lend you. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to build your credit worthiness. I will not even call it credit history. It's more about credit worthiness. So if you are a low risk client, then you can end up getting a lot of debt. That's what I have been working on. I'll write a note around it. But I hope you got the point that during such distress time, taking debt can really make you rich. Now comes the final point, that you need to treat wealth building and wealth investing as a game, right? And you need to learn and polish your wealth building, wealth learning game as much as possible. The more skilled you are, the more markets you understand, the more asset classes you understand, the more you understand about capital rotation, the more money you will make. Now, I have heard many dweebs, right, talking about the fact that, you know what, boss, you should not over experiment, you should keep it super simple, this, that stuff, you should not trade. Okay, so let's talk sensibly. Or you should not time the market. Who gave the phrase not time the market? You'll say Warren Buffett जी ने बोला था, right, कि market timing नहीं करनी चाहिए. ये रहा Mr. Warren Buffett जी का portfolio, okay, which is the cash position. Now, why is he sitting on so much cash if he has no intention of timing the market? The point is that don't just blindly trust random quotes that you read from the internet. Look at what people are doing, okay? So this is the most important bit. Otherwise, आप ऐसी हवाबाजी में लगे रहोगे, राइट, कि कोई कुछ भी आके बोल देता है, मान लेते हो टाइप्स, राइट. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू डू योर ड्यू डिलिजेंस. यू डोंट नीड टू ट्रस्ट मी, यू डोंट नीड टू ट्रस्ट एनी रैंडम पर्सन, यू नीड टू ट्रस्ट योरसेल्फ व्हेन इट कम्स टू मनी. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट नो वन विल केयर अबाउट योर मनी द वे यू डू, राइट. एंड देयरफॉर आई ऑलवेज एनकरेज पीपल टू लर्न more and more about money because it gives you more control over your life. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you soon.